On the sneak, and he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Brock Osweiler with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Texans are in for 6. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. Now it's Novak on. He'll send this one away following the touchdown. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now here comes Kansas City. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play. For so many years, I was convinced it was a myth, because you always hear about the smaller running back. Oh, he gets lost, you can't find him, and sometimes that's part of his genius. But it's true. You get behind big offensive linemen, the defensive line guys trying to find him, trying to peek around people to see him, and he gets lost. But this guy gets lost in a good way for his offense, picking up big yardage.
See if they stay on the ground for second down. Smith going to turn and give to Charles. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs, and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
Two minutes gone by, second quarter. They'll need to get the play off quickly. Now they'll run it on the toss. Give them a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. And they still need 8 yards for the first here on 2nd down.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game. This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him. Well, partner, they might want to tear up their scouting reports a little bit here because they just broke tendency. 3rd down, you don't ordinarily see a toss. They ran it really well and picked up a first down. I love the way the edges were sealed, which allowed him to get to the corner.
So the run gets them the first, and now they operate with a fresh set of downs.
Three. Under. Set, force.
Smith will hand it off here to Charles. And he's got some space here. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Jamal Charles, 37 yards. And the Chiefs are an extra point away from tying up this football game. And we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we...
Looking for strong, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the safety here, Ron Parker. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. Now the Chiefs offense, they get ready to head on the field. And it's a unit last drive that did it all on the ground, Charles.
And they controlled it from the interior. Big on big, right? offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. But you know, in order to keep the football moving downfield, other people have to get involved as well. Your wide receivers, your tight ends, lead runners, anything that you have possible to get in front and keep the ball moving.
And now the defense may be looking out for a pass coming up.
When people see Vince Wilfork, they don't think about his versatility, do they? But we've seen that throughout his career where he's actually played some defensive end as well as his expected defensive tackle and nose tackle positions. Strength, great quickness inside. That allows him to make plays in the offensive backfield.
Absolutely a run stopper. A little bit of ground to make up for the offense as they face a 2nd and 11. They come up in an offset eye. Here's Smith now on 2nd down. And Thomas has it. And some space here. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. DeAnthony Thomas, 36 yards. And the Chiefs have broken our tie as they take the lead. Well, they had gone run the previous play. Nice little setup. This time they go play action. Defense bites a bit, and they hit for a big play in the end zone.
So they sold it really well, didn't they? Because it's just what you described. They ran it the previous play, come back with the same action, and now they step back and throw it and get a big play for a touchdown. But what happens as a defensive back is your eyes have to go to the right place. You always hear Coach talk about, are your eyes in the right spot? Well, this time the eyes went to the play action. It froze their feet. They weren't moving, and he went on past them and caught the pass for a touchdown.
A minute 58 to go in this first half of play. We're back to Arrowhead after this. They isolate Hopkins on the left side.
Green 39! Green 39!
And the slot man goes in motion left.
Back 99 Philly!
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Right side caught Fedorowicz. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. And quickly they get to the line.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Again on 2nd and 10 now. It's Osweiler. And this one complete to Will Fuller. And he's brought down after a good gain. And a nice pitch and catch to pick up the reception against man coverage.
Both of them read how much yardage they needed, figured what they had to do, and were able to beat the man coverage for the completion.
Now Osweiler on 1st down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. And now they're in the hurry-up.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
In a blink of an eye, that happened fast and a big sack. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he gets it down to the 32. Give him 14 on the play. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him the football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field. As tight ends go, he might not provide the super flashy plays very often, but he's pretty reliable. Usually.
Now here's a defensive timeout called by the Chiefs. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And they're going to at least line up to go for it here on 4th down.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90.
And they'll send the slot in motion left. They're going on 4th down. It's Osweiler. And it is incomplete. Partner, let's talk about some of the coaches that'll be in new spots here as the regular season starts. You got Dirk Cutter, Hugh Jackson, Mike Mularkey, Doug Peterson, Adam Gase, Ben McAdoo, Chip Kelly, 7 all told. Interesting to track how those guys do.
It really will be, because Dirk Cutter has just changed offices. Went from offensive coordinator to head coach in Tampa Bay. And he got that job because of the work he's done with Jameis Winston, and they want that to continue. Then you go ahead and look at Mike Mularkey, who was the interim coach last year for the Tennessee Titans. He's now the head man there, and guess what? There's a new spirit in Tennessee, and he's helped leading it. And finally, Doug Peterson. Kind of a return for him. A former player in Philadelphia. Now he comes back as the head coach of the Eagles.
They'll keep it on the ground with Charles again. Oh, he's got a little daylight. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
And that's how you run the football and run it successfully. Big-time chunk of yardage picked up, but why? Offensive linemen won at the point of attack. Their leverage way better than the defenders. The low man wins when you're getting underneath and trying to move people. And that's exactly what happened on that play. The offensive line moved the defensive front, created space, and the end result, a fantastic run.
They're complete. This is Albert Wilson. And he's brought down. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. Throwing is Smith. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. And Santos able to put this one up and through. It's good. That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And the Texans set to come onto the field. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be...
And now this is intercepted. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a KC touchdown. Short throw pick 6 right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
And he is into the end zone to bump the lead up 2 more. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Houston. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
Now the ball's out. Osweiler lost it. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but the other team doesn't get it. That's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession. Well, no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
Now let's go. Blue line it.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left. They'll indeed go for it with Osweiler. And finding Fedorowicz. And he's brought down after a good gain. I don't know if I agree with that. I guess they don't care if I agree with that. But, boy, you have to be surprised by that, right?
I definitely was surprised that they decided to go for it in this situation. But they must have either felt like they either had a great play.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by the safety here, Ron Parker. There he goes, left side. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a KC touchdown. I don't know who all is to blame there, but I love seeing pick sixes.
Nothing like seeing someone pluck it out of the air and go the other way and see people try to change direction.